The various SQL statements can be grouped into several subset languages. The first of which we'll look at is the data definition language, which allows us to add, alter, and delete databases, tables, and indexes. First, we'll create a database called MyDatabase. When we execute a statement such as this, the database system won't return any confirmation unless there were an error such as the database already existing. To see that a new database has been created, we can type show databases. Next, we should select the database with the use statement to make it the default database for the following SQL statements. Now that we have a database, let's create a table in it called MyTable with 3 different columns: ID, name, and history. Each column name is followed by the data type of that column and its length in parentheses. For example, this ID integer can hold 3 digits for a maximum value of 999. The alter table statements is used to change columns in a table. To add a column, we use the add keyword followed by the information for that new column. To modify a column name and data type, we use the change keyword, and for removing columns, we use the drop keyword. Alter can also be used to rename a table with the rename to keywords, which does the same as the rename table statement. Then there is the drop statement for removing database objects. To delete an index, we can use the drop index statement with the name of that index. To delete a table and everything in it, there is the drop table statement. And finally, we can delete an entire database with the drop database statement. The data manipulation language is used to insert, update, and delete data. First off, we have the insert into statement that adds a new row to a table with the values listed after the values keyword. We can also choose into which columns the data is inserted by listing those columns after the table name. For this to work, the other columns must either have a default value or allow null values. If a column has a default value, we can use it by typing in default, and if it allows null values, we can type it in as null. Insert into can also add multiple rows by listing the values for each row separated by a comma. To see the rows, we can use the select statement like this. The update statement sets a new value for a column in a table. It uses the where keyword to update only the data that matches a condition. Without the where condition, all rows will be updated. Update can also be used to modify several columns at once. The delete statement is used to delete rows. It will delete every row in the table that matches the where condition. If we leave out a condition, all rows will be deleted. Another way to clear all rows in a table is to use the truncate command. The select statement is the most frequently used SQL operation and is used to retrieve rows from a table. As of now, we've used the asterisk to select all columns in a table, but we can also select one or more specific columns to retrieve. Added to a select statement, we have the where clause that specifies a selection condition. We can use the standard operators here, as well as some that are more specific to SQL that we will look at. These operators can be applied to strings and dates, just as well as numbers. Note that the standard way to type strings and dates in SQL is using single quotes, but most database systems will also accept double quotes. The logical operators and or can be used to apply several selection conditions. If needed, parentheses are used to clarify the boundaries. The in operator lets us list values that must be in the column to be selected. It does the same as listing them separately with the or operator. The like operator specifies a search pattern for a column using wildcards. A percentage sign selects multiple characters, so this example will select all names containing the letter A. There is also the underscore wildcard that matches a single character, so this will select names that have exactly 6 letters. The last operator is between and that selects a range of data between 2 values. Next, if we have several rows with the same value for a column, we can add the distinct keyword to only select values that are different. There is also the limit modifier that allows us to limit the number of rows selected. It can also be used like this, which excludes the first 2 rows and gets the next 3. The order by keyword is used to sort the rows. By default, they will be ordered alphabetically or ascending. They can also be ordered again, this time in reverse numerical order or descending. To write data from a table to a file, there is the select into out file statement. And to load the file back into a table, we use the load data in file statement.